Once upon a time, there was a man caught in a shipwreck. The ship was obliterated, everybody perished except for him, and he swam to the shores of what he thought was a deserted island. However, once he climbed onto the sand, he realized that many of the palm trees had been cut down and formed into buildings. One of the buildings directly in front of him was a spectacular kind of home. Not a hut, but something more. And so the survivor went to the door and knocked, and sure enough, a man opened the door. And the survivor explained what had happened. And the man said, the same thing happened to me 20 years ago. I've been living here by myself for 2 decades. I'm so glad to have company. Please come in. And so the man who lived on the island began to show the survivor around. He showed him his master bathroom. He showed him his mudroom. He showed him his tool shed. I mean, it was really like this guy had made an incredible life for himself on this desert island. And so the survivor asked for a tour. Are there any other buildings? Yeah, there are. And so the man who lived on the island began to show him all the places that he had prepared. There were 6 or 7 different buildings, almost like a little village on this deserted island for just this one inhabitant. And of course, the survivor was amazed. I can't believe you did all that. What's that? And there, in the center of all these other buildings, was an architectural wonder. I mean, it was huge. It was a spectacular building with incredible craftsmanship and a sense of exaltation and glory. And the man who lived on the island said, well, that's my church. I spent almost 10 years building it, and I just wanted to have a place where I could worship and commune with God. And oh, it's so spectacular. So the two of them went in and they held a private prayer service, and then they came out a different door. And as they came out a different door, the survivor looked kind of across the way and saw that there was another huge building. Again, it was one that was so ornately done and had been worked on with so much care. And so the survivor asked the man who lived on the island, well, what's that? Oh, that's the church I used to go to. Ha! Now, this is my favorite joke. Nobody ever laughs except me. I think it's so funny because in 2 decades of being a pastor, I realize, man, people flip-flop where they go to church all the time. And it's impossible to think that any church is going to keep anybody totally happy. Even if they live on a desert island, they're going to have 2 churches because their preferences are going to change so much. So this whole section of our Doxa class really is a study in ethics and preferences and what it means to faithfully follow Jesus in a local congregation and how we determine the appropriate level of our involvement.